I do believe it is important to be self-aware of our triggers, traumas, childhood dynamics, biases, patterns of behavior, and belief systems, because they can either consciously or subconsciously shape our opinion of someone, how we interact with him or her, and the advice that we present to that person. 90 to 95% of our behavior is run by our subconscious. And if we like to admit it or not, our automatic behaviors and patterns of behaviors are heavily influenced by our subconscious. Thus, people must not only become aware of their conscious realm, but also aware of their subconscious realm. Even as Carl Jung says, our shadows, so that they are not run by their shadow or ego, but rather by their head aligned with their heart and their gut, the gut storing intuitive knowledge. We should not only be aware of feelings and thoughts that fuel each other, but how our bodies react to fear. Where is anxiety, anger, and sorrow held in our body during a fearful moment? Instead of suppressing or repressing emotions, connecting and acknowledging these emotions allows us to move past them. Knowing oneself is a difficult and continual enterprise, for we have blind spots to our self-knowing, and we are always changing and growing. Lao Tzu highlights the perseverance needed to know oneself when he says, knowing others is wisdom, knowing yourself is enlightenment. If one has a strong sense of who they are and their shadow qualities, they are more likely to unmask their shadow instincts or beliefs. An example being unmasking status entitlements, and see another person for who they truly are without projecting themselves onto that person. We must not sleepwalk throughout life, reenacting the same mistakes of the past, but rather live consciously with deliberation and purpose. In order to live more consciously, we must on occasion dismantle the ego to recognize our shadow. In other words, the double, as exemplified in Dostoevsky's characters having doubles. Many of his novels show the double. In other words, the alter ego and the id. We confront the shadow daily, such as in humor that reflects our feared emotions, or in our impulsive and unintentional acts or blunders. If these shadow behaviors do not take the form of symptoms such as depression and neuroticism and compulsive anger, the shadow is still subject to grow to excess in ways expressed, such as in a materialistic indulgence or in a codependent need to help others. Although people can channel their shadow to other areas of their life, such as their sex life, so the shadow doesn't impede on their day-to-day living, I do believe that allowing darkness to play out through masochist, sadist sex acts or kinky sex too frequently could lead to excess and then eventually destructive and self-destructive acts during the act of sex, such as cutting a partner with a knife during sex to elicit their partner's joy and pain. Therefore, it is important that when we channel our shadow, we make sure not to give into it through excess. Otherwise, the shadow begins to self-destruct, and we and others go down with it. All in all, I highly recommend we all undergo shadow work to create a cohesive relationship with the shadow, to diffuse negative emotions that surface unexpectedly or cloud judgment. Then we can achieve more self-acceptance and genuine relationships through careful, emotionally honest self-examination and direct, vulnerable communication that acknowledges our propensity towards certain realms of our instinctual nature, as well as our human, more conscious self.